On August the 1st, during the special occasion of China's Army Day, a video released by China's Central Television sent shockwaves around the world. A Chinese Army Aviation Corps Z-10 armed helicopter engaged in a standoff with the U.S. Navy MH-60 or Seahawk helicopter over the Taiwan Strait for over an hour. The two helicopters engaged in a fierce dogfight amid rolling clouds, with their distance narrowing to as close as 500 meters, less than 10 times the diameter of their rotor blades. Any miscalculation could have resulted in catastrophic consequences. This intense aerial showdown was no accidental encounter. The MH-60 or Seahawk, as the U.S. Navy's primary carrier-based anti-submarine helicopter, typically operates alongside Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers or aircraft carriers, equipped with signal reconnaissance and terrain mapping capabilities. Its presence indicated that U.S. warships were nearby, and at the time, two rusty yet clearly intent Ticonderoga-class cruisers were transiting the Taiwan Strait. This Seahawk began its approach from less than 5 kilometers from China's territorial sea baseline, flying at extremely low altitude over the sea, with its electro-optical sensors quietly activated. Every step was a carefully designed tactical probe. The choice of the Z-10 Thunderbolt to engage was far from random. As the most maneuverable model among currently deployed attack helicopters worldwide, the Z-10 boasts superior weight-to-power ratio and instantaneous response capabilities, making it a Sea Eagle killer in low-altitude dogfights. When the U.S. aircraft suddenly emerged from the clouds and made a left turn to close in, the Z-10's agility was fully demonstrated. From 2,000 meters to 500 meters, it charged straight toward the opponent's collision trajectory, with the turbulence generated by its rotors nearly striking the Seahawk's fuselage. The U.S. pilot ultimately panicked and turned away at the last second. This fearlessness stems from the Z-10's lethal configuration. The Tai-90 air-to-air missiles mounted under its short wings are the world's only dedicated helicopter dogfight missiles. Their infrared seeker heads, paired with a 3.5-kilogram warhead, are specifically designed to sever rotor blades, earning them the nickname Rotor Reapers in the defense industry. Interestingly, the intercept mission was not assigned to naval helicopters, but instead carried out by the Eastern Theater Command's Army Aviation Corps. This reveals a deeper strategic design. The People's Liberation Army is integrating Taiwan Strait defense into its all-domain warfare system. The involvement of Army aviation blurs the nature of military operations, leaving room for flexibility in responding to escalations. When the pilot declared, "Our backyard shall not be violated," the context aligns with the Chinese Foreign Ministry's 2025 statement that the Taiwan Strait is not international waters, forming a strategic closed loop. This effectively lays the groundwork for the legal justification of internalizing the Taiwan Strait. The U.S. military, however, clings to the innocent passage clause of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea as its shield. However, Article 19 of the Convention explicitly prohibits actions that threaten the security of coastal states, and the Sea Eagles playing hide-and-seek in the clouds before suddenly closing and provides China with irrefutable evidence to accuse them of professional violations. The stakes in this legal showdown far exceed the tactical level. Whoever controls the interpretation of the rules holds the key to the future of the Taiwan Strait. In the Western Pacific of 2025, such dangerous games have become routine. In February, a Chinese Z-9 helicopter forced a Philippine reconnaissance aircraft to retreat at a distance of 3 meters near Huanyan Island. In May, 11 aerial standoffs erupted over 10 days in the East China Sea. In July, Chinese and Japanese fighter jets mutually accused each other of dangerous approaches in the Air Defense Identification Zone. These incidents share the same logic. China uses a salami slicing tactic to compress the operational space of foreign forces, while the United States leverages frequent freedom of navigation operations to maintain its hegemonic narrative. However, the lethality of the Taiwan Strait lies in its direct connection to China's most sensitive territorial nerves. As U.S. warships regularly traverse the strait each month, and Chinese military aircraft simultaneously cross the median line of the strait in response, both sides are betting on the other to blink first. Even more concerning is the absence of crisis management mechanisms. A 500-meter interval for high-speed helicopters means only 3 seconds of reaction time, and any mechanical failure or operational error could repeat the 2001 South China Sea collision tragedy. Although the U.S. has repeatedly proposed establishing a military hotline, China insists that the U.S. military first cease close-range reconnaissance. This again falls into a chicken or egg dilemma. Who has the authority to define provocation? U.S. think tanks' war games have become increasingly provocative. A CSIS report claims that if the Eastern Theater Command were to carry out a unified operation alone, it could be intercepted by a U.S.-Japan joint force. The Mitchell Institute even fantasizes about using 96 fighter jets to seize air superiority over the Taiwan Strait. These simulations deliberately overlook the coverage capabilities of the People's Liberation Army rocket force. The DF-15/16s, 17 missiles have already placed bases along the first island chain within their range, and the DF-26 can directly strike Guam. The U.S. military's air superiority in the Western Pacific has long since become a thing of the past. The continuous airspace alerts over the Taiwan Strait for 48 hours serve as a microcosm of the tense situation in 2025. As J-20 stealth fighters and electronic warfare aircraft weave a sky net around Taiwan Island, leaving Taiwanese F-16V fighters scrambling to respond, the Eastern Theater Command has demonstrated its integrated joint operational capabilities across sea, air, space, and electronic domains. This overwhelming advantage is not only reflected in the generational gap in equipment but also highlights the battlefield control capabilities enabled by information fusion. Any intruder is locked onto by multiple sensors the moment they appear. Technical details reveal the essence of power. On the millimeter wave radar display in the Z-10 cockpit, the light point representing the Sea Eagle is always locked in the center of the targeting ring. When U.S. aircraft attempt to use cloud cover for tactical maneuvers, the PLA's new quantum communication system ensures zero-delay command chain connectivity. Within the ground command center, the three-dimensional situational map, integrated with satellite, drone, and shore-based radar data, is updated in real time, with each command executed with precision down to the second. This is underpinned by the leap in positioning accuracy achieved after the full deployment of the Beidou 3 global navigation system. A positioning error of 0.1 meters enables the Tai-90 missile to achieve the lethal precision required for decapitating rotorcraft. The legal quagmire is more perilous than the clouds. The U.S. military repeatedly invokes Article 38 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea regarding innocent passage, yet selectively ignores Article 39, which requires continuous, uninterrupted, and expeditious passage. When the Seahawk helicopter continuously circled and conducted reconnaissance over the Taiwan Strait for over an hour, its actions automatically lost legal protection. More critically, China explicitly reserved the position that harmless passage of military vessels requires prior approval when it ratified the convention in 1996. Yet the U.S., which has never ratified the convention, insists on enforcing its provisions. This double standard is the root cause of the frequent confrontations. The void in crisis management is being filled with resolve. The political commissar of a certain division of the Eastern Theater Command Air Force stated at a combat readiness mobilization meeting, "We do not need heroes who collide with aircraft, but we need warriors who dare to draw their swords." This seemingly contradictory statement reflects the clarity and sense of responsibility of soldiers in the new era. When the U.S. Navy's Sea Eagle suddenly turned left toward the Z-10 flight path, the pilot did not choose the textbook-style evasive maneuver but instead accelerated forward. It was this resolute determination to destroy both sides that forced the opponent to abruptly pull the control stick at the last 0.8 seconds. Though the crisis of metallic collisions between clouds has been averted, the smoke of great power rivalry never dissipates. Every tremor of the rotor blades reshapes the power map of the Western Pacific, and every second of standoff rewrites the source code of the international order. As the Z-10's cannon glints coldly in the sunlight, it reflects not only the pilot's resolute face, but also an ancient civilization's unwavering vigilance over its sovereignty red line. The Sea Eagle's final 0.8-second turn may become a turning point in history. From now on, any intruder will understand. The rule maker of this sky has already changed its name.